Let's begin with politics, shall we? As Vice President Kashim Shettima, alongside APC National Chairman Abdullahi Ganduje and other party leaders, has officially welcomed Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborevwori, his predecessor Ifeanyi Okowa, as well as the entire PDP structure in Delta State to the ruling All Progressives Congress APC. At the event held in Asaba, Oborevwori said the decision to join the APC followed extensive consultations with stakeholders across the oil-rich state and was inspired by President Bola Tinubu's demonstrated love and commitment to Delta State. The PDP has dominated the oil-rich Niger Delta region for 26 years, making Oborevwori the first sitting governor since 1999 to defect to another political party.
According to the APC constitution, the governor of the party is the leader of the party in the state. This is now as much as your party as it is ours. You have brought to us a wealth of experience, a breadth of wisdom, and a measure of strength for which we shall always remain grateful. The APC is not only stronger today because you have joined us. It is better. It is better because you have brought with you new ways of thinking, new mirrors through which we can reflect on our journey.
What you have seen here today is a movement. It's not a defection. This is data. Data cannot carry last. We have been in opposition for almost 10 years. Do we need that? Mr. President has supported us. He has shown us love. We cannot face him in 2027 to work against him. That love that he has shown to us in Delta State, we need to reciprocate it. We cannot do it in our own party. You have to be inside to do it and to do it well.
In the meantime, Abia State Governor Alex Oti has dismissed reports suggesting that he is planning to defect to the All Progressives Congress APC from the Labour Party. In a statement issued by his special advisor on media and publicity, Ferdinand Ikeoma, the governor clarified that he neither held any meeting with Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma nor discussed plans to join the APC. He explained that following the National Economic Council meeting on Tuesday, 24th April, Governor Oti, alongside a few of his colleagues, had attended the birthday celebration of Governor Uzodinma's twin daughters, a purely social event unconnected to politics. In the same vein, Kebbi State Governor Nasir Idris has dismissed rumors suggesting that he and 4 other governors are planning to defect from the All Progressives Congress APC. Now, the governor described the reports as malicious fabrications by what he called unserious political comedians. Responding to social media speculations linking him to a coalition led by former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Idris reaffirmed his loyalty to the APC, declaring he is made in APC, by the APC, and for the APC. Idris reiterated his commitment to the people of Kebbi State and to the vision of President Bola Tinubu, stressing that his focus remains on delivering good governance and building on the successes of the APC. In reaction, the presidency has dismissed claims that democracy is under threat following recent defections of key opposition figures to the All Progressives Congress APC. In a statement on Sunday, presidential advisor Bayo Nanuga said the movement of politicians into the APC reflects freedom of association, not a drift toward authoritarianism. He cited the defection of Akwa Ibom and Delta governors, among others, as political realignments within a healthy democracy. Onanuga accused opposition figures of hypocrisy and failing in their duties, adding that President Tinubu remains committed to a vibrant multi-party system. The presidency insists Nigerians are joining the APC voluntarily based on confidence in Tinubu's reforms. Now, to join us to discuss more on this is public affairs analyst Jide Ojo. Mr. Ojo, thank you so much for joining us. Very interesting times. Would you say that it's free will when we're seeing this move by political realignment, democratic realignment from the Akwa Ibom State Governor and the Delta State Governor?
My dear sister, nothing shocks me anymore from the political class. Always expect the unexpected, because ahead of every general elections, we know this will happen. There will always be alignment and realignment of forces. And you don't want to blame those who are defecting, because their own front, their party that brought them to power, is in crisis. Take PDP, for instance. PDP has been experiencing tsunami since 2015, when it lost at the presidential level. And that exactly was also the scenario for 16 years between 1999 and 2015. If you recall, it has always been PDP and others. Now it's becoming like APC and others, because political parties copy from the same textbooks. They use the same standard operating procedures. Any government in power wants to strengthen its position and make sure that the opposition is weak. But it is for the opposition to also have an introspection and get their acts together. They cannot continue to push and shove, have a series of litigations up to Supreme Court, and even the court seems unable to help them resolve their intra-party crisis. And now, their members who are elected on their platforms are living in droves. This we have seen before, and it is going to be like that for some time to come, until when political class decides to behave themselves. There are internal conflict resolution mechanisms that have not been fully explored, which is why they always resort to litigations. And when you have intractable intra-party crisis, you are giving room for the ruling party to harvest from your ranks. And that is what has happened. Even though members of the opposition will cry foul, oh, our members are being induced, our members are being coerced, I don't believe that is the entire story. I think we should also blame the opposition political parties for not being able to use the internal conflict resolution mechanism to resolve their internal crisis. PDP is in crisis, Labour Party is in crisis, NNPP is in crisis, and these are the main opposition party.
Right. I mean,
would they say that it is APC that has also sponsored this crisis within their ranks?
I have to ask at this point the risk that we're getting into, or better yet, the implications that you think these developments could have for Nigeria's multi-party system and the opposition's ability to hold the government accountable.
The irony is this. Let's go history. Historically, you find that in many major democracies, including the Western democracies where we copy this presidentialism and Western democratic culture, there is what is called de jure and de facto party system. Many of them are de jure multi-party system, but which has evolved over time into a de facto two-party state. Take, for instance, US. You talk about a Democratic Party and the Republican Party. In UK, you talk of the Conservative Party and the Labour Party, which they also call the Conservative Party called Tories. The point is that in these democracies, there are multiple parties in their systems. But over time, they evolve into a de facto two-party state. Unfortunately for Nigeria, we only experienced this two-party state for a very limited period since 1999. I would say up until 2023, there was a de facto two-party state in Nigeria, which is APC and PDP. But today, with the break in the ranks of the PDP, they have had to, it's unfortunate that we are now slipping into a one-party state. The implication of this is that the opposition party will not be able to hold government at the center to account because many of his chieftains are now in the ranks of the ruling party. And now the salvation, the solution, the stakeholders that can rescue Nigeria are now the press and the civil society.
Right.
Because politicians have shown their incapacity to resolve their intra-party crisis, which is why we see all of these defections and cross-carpeting. But it is unhealthy for our democracy, and I believe that the solution lies in the media and civil society rising up to the occasion and holding government to account.
And the presidency has dismissed claims that democracy is under threat following recent defections of key opposition figures to the ruling party. What's your thought on that statement by his aide?
Well, you don't expect Bayo Onanuga to claim that democracy is under threat. We know globally democracy is under threat, not only in Nigeria. In US, you can see what Donald Trump is doing to the governance system there. Are you going to tell me that the democracy in US is not under threat? In Ghana, we just saw the Ghanaian president suspending the Chief Justice of Ghana. Is that not an indicative that there is shrinking civic space? So it's not a peculiar phenomenon to Nigeria. It's a global phenomenon. Now, democracy has been in recession for a very long time. That's why you even have the coups in Burkina Faso, in Niger, and in Mali, and even in Gabon. So it's a trite argument that democracy is under threat. So I don't expect the presidential aide to come out to admit that because it's serving the interest of his paymasters. But the truth is that that's why I'm calling on the civil society and the media to rise to the occasion, because the political class have shown a high level of irresponsibility to build and consolidate democracy.
All right.
They are the major architects who have weakened this democratic project. And unless we rescue the country from the political class by ensuring that we hold government at both the national and subnational level to account, to ensure that they are acting in conformity with the rule of law. Basically, the supremacy of the law, equality before the law, and fundamental human rights. Unless the civil society and the media are able to rise up to that occasion and fill the vacuum that is being created by the irresponsible political class, Nigeria democratic consolidation project is already getting to a failing state.
All right. I must say thank you for taking out the time to join us, Mr. Jide Ojo. Mr. Jide Ojo joined us to give us a bit of just a bit of analysis following statements from the presidential aide saying that democracy is not under threat following defections from with key notable figures from the PDP to the APC. Let's go on our short break, shall we? We're going on our first break. When we return, tension rises in Kano State as embattled Emir Bayero appoints rival Galadima. We'll tell you all about this just after the break. Join us again. And welcome back. It's off to Rivers State, where a pro-Fubara group known as Rivers Women Unite for SIM has pledged support for President Bola Tinubu, but wants the suspended governor, Siminalayi Fubara, to be reinstated as soon as possible. News Central's Biola Festus has been tracking developments in the state and now reports.
Since the declaration of emergency rule in Rivers State on the 18th of March 2025, Rivers Women, under the platform of Rivers Women Unite for SIM, was the first to demand the reinstatement of the suspended governor of the state, Siminalayi Fubara. Consistently, they gathered and expressed their displeasure with the emergency rule. Other times, they took to the streets in peaceful protests.
We are pleading, we are not forcing him. He should plead, he should please listen to the cry of the women, cry of the state, the children, the youths, the elders, even the civil servants are pleading. that stream should be restored.
Seeing the state of the emergency now, you can see the contracts have been made, no contract again. Because that is where the youth, sometimes there is no job in the country, so that is where they help themselves. It is no more. And we are crying, begging Tinubu as a father, that Tinubu should please bring back Siminala Efubara because he is the chosen one.
This time, the tone of their demand took a different dimension with a promise directly to President Bola Tinubu.
We are therefore looking up to the President, who we are solidly behind, to rescue Rivers women by lifting this burden of state of emergency from our dear state and to restore our democratic institutions. We are sure, Mr. President, to continue standing by him as part of our appreciation.
The women further called for reconciliation among the warring political actors in the interest of peace.
We, as Rivers women, are also calling for genuine reconciliation amongst the parties and ask the major actors to put Rivers State first in all their dealings and to put aside every grievance so as to pave the way for love and absolute peace to thrive. It is obvious that our state is the major loser of the emergency rule, as many development actions are on suspension and our people are languishing in anxiety as an aftermath.
The women are saying no more protests, believing that the presidency will heed their demands in no distant time. In Rivers for News Central, Biola Festus.
The Nigerian Labour Congress has directed its Rivers State Council to organize a peaceful rally on 1st of May 2025 as part of activities to commemorate this year's Workers' Day. The rally will be held within the council's premises, involving all affiliate unions, and will focus on advocating for the restoration of democratic governance in this state. In a letter signed by Deputy General Secretary Comrade Ishmael Bello, the NLC leadership stressed that given the peculiar circumstance of the subversion of democratic governance in Rivers, the celebration should be marked by somber reflection rather than fanfare. The rally is expected to deliver strong messages centered on the demand for democratic governance, improved welfare for workers, and the people's yearning for freedom and liberty. And off to Kano State, where the embattled Emir Aminu Ado Bayero has appointed his elder brother, Wamba Wambam Kano, Sanusi Ado Bayero, as the Galadima Kano. Now, the appointment comes just days after Emir Muhammadu Sanusi II named Mani Sanusi to the same prestigious position traditionally reserved for princes of the Kano Emirate. The latest appointment detailed in a letter dated 21st April 2025 and signed by Senior Administrative Officer Awoisu Sanusi invites Sanusi Ado Bayero to the Nasarawa Palace Mosques on 2nd May of 2025 for his official installation. Emir Sanusi II, who was reinstated to the throne in June 2024 amid intense political controversy, had earlier approved the elevation of Mani Sanusi to the Galadima title following the death of Abbas Sanusi, the previous Galadima Kano. The late Abbas Sanusi, a highly respected elder of the Emirate, passed away in March of 2025 after a prolonged illness, leaving vacant one of the Emirate's most senior and symbolic titles. And after security matters, tragedy has struck once again in Benue State as violence continues to escalate in Maiduguri. The Makodi, I beg your pardon. Now, suspected herdsmen have reportedly targeted innocent civilians and seized land across the state. On Sunday, more than 10 people were shot at a bar near the Okada office in Akpei. At least 4 individuals were confirmed dead at the scene. The latest attacks follows a series of familiar or similar deadly incidents in the area, heightening fear among local residents. While deadly raids by suspected herdsmen persist in Benwe's rural communities, authorities are investigating this particular incident as possibly linked to court-related violence, a growing concern in urban areas. Meanwhile, the General Officer commanding 3 Armored Division and Commander Operation Safe Haven, Major General Folonsho Oyilola, has called for the collective commitment of all stakeholders in Sanga local government area of Kaduna State for a peaceful farming season across the state. Major General Oyilola made this call during a Peace and Unity Summit and football competition in the locality for a rancor-free farming season. News Central's Chizoba Nyowe was there for News Central. Take a look.
This is the second time Operation Safe Haven is organizing this kind of event for the safety of both lives, farm produce, and cattle as the farming season sets in. This time around, under the command of Major General Folosho Oyinlola, the GOC 3 Division, and Commander Operation Safe Haven, with the theme Peaceful Coexistence Towards a Successful Farming Season, these stakeholders are expected to play according to the rules.
I am well aware of the recurring challenges that accompany the farming season, including drought disruptions and attacks on livestock. This segment provides a vital platform for dialogue and the development of personal modalities for a peaceful and productive farming season.
These scholars gathered here speak to the minds of these farmers for a hitch-free farming season.
The issue is manipulation of tribe and religion. So it must be discarded. It's one of the way forward. All these politicians that are manipulating politics with religion and tribalism in order to achieve their own selfish interests, it must be checked.
We must take a decision, personal decision, to be committed to peaceful coexistence. Each stakeholder must play their own role. The security, the legislative, all of them, we must play our part.
For these locals, anything that will secure their lives and means of livelihood will be appreciated.
We need more security. When we have them enough, I think all those things will stop.
We have to have ourselves first. We have to be alert. Once you see someone that is a foreigner, you don't understand that person, you need to call the attention of the security men.
The commander further unveiled some motorcycles to enhance security in the area and thereafter kicked off a football tournament in his honor. With the charges of the GOC here, one would expect that these stakeholders here will take back home the message learned from this event to step it down to other stakeholders who were not able to make it here to ensure that the next farming season will be a hitch-free one for both farmers and herders in Sanga local government area. From Kaduna State for News Central, Chizoba Aniori.
After more than 12 years of displacement caused by insurgent activities, the Borno state government has successfully resettled residents in Malam Faturi, the headquarters of Abandam local government area. Former inhabitants of Malam Faturi who had sought refuge in Bosso, Niger Republic, are now happily returning home. News Central's Umaru Kirawa has the details.
In what once seemed like a distant dream, market activities have resumed in Malam Faturi, signaling a return to normalcy in the headquarters of Abadam local government area, Borno State. A former battleground and terrorist stronghold, Malam Faturi has now been reclaimed with civil authority fully restored.
Almost 8,000 people, that is 1,000 head of household. So we pray that they are coming back today is for the final leg of their returning back to their ancestral homes, and we hope and pray that very soon they will take the pieces of their lives by going back to their farms, going back to their trading business. We finished Friday prayer in Malafaturi. From 21st to 25th, we resettled 1,000 households, equivalent to 8,000 people. The people of Malafaturi are very happy and we are very grateful to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Bola, for making this happen, consistent with his resettlement plan and also consistent with his policy on sustainable solutions to internal displacement.
This is a day we have been struggling to reach, and today, with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are able to achieve it. Secondly, we also like to thank the Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Umar Azul, who has been struggling to see that the people of Malafaturi are resettled back to their ancestral homes.
Local traders and farmers are re-establishing their businesses, driving the town's economic revitalization.
Commissioner local government Commissioner information Krita Isa ngo balangala dana chinoa roga onu mosa and that's knasare and that's ron nemena mayro askriana.
While the security situation continues to improve, a significant challenge for the government remains the management and reintegration of over 300,000 repentant terrorists over the past 3 years. Meanwhile, families from Marte, Guzamala and selected communities in Goza local government areas are still awaiting improved security conditions to enable their resettlement and the rebuilding of their lives after years of displacement. In Malamfaturi for News Central, Umuri Kirawa.
For generations, Ajiwa Dam in Katsina State was synonymous with thriving chili farms until now. Climate change, deforestation and dying soils are forcing farmers like Abdul Hamid Maya Zaburi to face an unthinkable choice: abandon their ancestral livelihood or starve. Our reporter Jamil Mabai, he investigates how smart agriculture and resilient crops could survive Ajiwa's fading chili empire. His report.
For 35 years, Abdullahi Mezabura has known only one way of life: chili pepper farming. Once the heartbeat of chili production in the state, his land now struggles to yield expected produce.
Amma yau an waye gari tangande da muke alfahari da shi a wannan logon yau ya zanto baya. Da ni shekara biyu ma ban sa tangande ba. Da bana da bara ko gindi ban dasa ma bane. Ka san ko a wannan logon ina ga da cikin manoma na wannan logon wanda suke samun amfanin gona na tattasai.
The soil, exhausted by climate change and deforestation, has turned against him.
Mu dai noman nan shi muka sani shi ne sana'a. To kuma ga sana'ar ta mu tana neman ta gagare mu saboda bai.
For the first time in his life, Mezabura is at a crossroads. Either he abandons his only livelihood or choose starvation.
Na barin wannan kogin mu tai wani kogi ni kaina yanzu ina da shawarwarin kila in raba noman rani na biyu in Allah ya kama lokacin da za a yi, in tai wani kogi inda ake samu in yi, ko in tai kasar Kaita, ko in tai kasar Mashi, ko in tai kasar Mai Aduwa, ko in tai kasar Daura.
Mezabura's story is not unique. Thousands of families in Ajiwa depended on irrigation farming until now.
Mafi ɗan uwanmu wanda suke so abin ma ya ci musu so a kware so sun tafi. To ana haka masu ƙwazon yin ma za su iya bari. Kuma kaga abin yi zai ragu. Kan nan nauyin mu ya ƙaru. Kan nan ciyarwar mu ta iyalin mu ta ƙaru. Kuma samayyar da ake da abin ta ragu. Kan nan ga tsada.
However, rampant tree cutting for firewood and uncontrolled erosion have stripped the land of its fertility. Lower yields mean less food and less income. But 25 kilometers away, there is hope. Agricultural experts say smart farming could be the lifeline Ajiwa farmers desperately need.
We use these tanks to pump the water through all these hoses so that it will supply the water to any places where we plant. These hoses were designed to make sure the water come in drops.
With real-time data, farmers like Maizabura could know exactly when to plant, water, or harvest, maximizing their shrinking resources.
We reduce the impact of climate change and find a way so that we can have a better yield and improve varieties. Even in the rainy season farming, we have different kind of varieties that will stand this shortage of water.
Maizabura wants improved seedlings that are climate change resilient to revive his farming. Researchers like Bawali have started producing improved seedlings that feeds Maizabura's demand. From Katsina, for News Central, Jamil Mabai.
A High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, has sentenced Peter Nwachukwu, the husband of the late gospel singer Osinachi Nwachukwu, to death by hanging. Justice Njideka Nwosu-Ohime found him guilty of culpable homicide, which led to the death of his wife on 8th of April 2022. The court held that the prosecution had satisfactorily proven its case against Nwachukwu. He was arraigned on 3rd of June 2022 by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation on behalf of the federal government on a 23-count charge. The charges included culpable homicide, punishable by death, criminal intimidation, cruelty to children, and spousal battery, among others. In addition to the death sentence, the court sentenced Nwachukwu to 6 months imprisonment on count 10 and 3 years imprisonment on count 11. He was also fined the sums of 500,000 naira and 200,000 naira on counts 6 and 7, respectively. And welcome back. The news continues in Libya, where a senior military officer has been shot dead during an attack on his home in Tripoli. Brigadier General Ramadan al-Rayini was killed on Sunday by unidentified gunmen in the Al-Kalla district south of the capital. The Prime Minister, Abdullahi Darbe, has condemned the attack, describing al-Rayini as a martyr who died defending his home. He has ordered a full investigation to be led by the military prosecutor. Witnesses say the general managed to kill 3 of the attackers before he was fatally shot. The motive for the attack remains unclear, but it comes amid continued instability in Libya. Lesotho is facing a severe economic threat, with its citizens urgently calling for action from the highest office in the United States. The country has long depended on its manufacturing sector, particularly textile production, to sustain its economy and create jobs. However, this fragile economy is now facing significant uncertainty, as the imposition of trade tariffs by the Trump administration could drive away crucial foreign investment. News Center's Mogani Ziziba is in Lesotho with more on this story. Take a look.
Good day, and thank you for having me. I'm here at another factory, textile factory in Maseru. Here I can feel the aroma of fresh fabric around. This is a factory that serves as a lifeline for more than 1,000 individuals who rely on it for their livelihoods. And this factory produces finished clothing that is exported to various markets, including the United States of America. But uncertainty looms over the future of this factory and many others like this one. It's a global trade dynamics shift that is happening. The recent policies under the Trump administration, which have introduced tariffs and put a risk on programs like the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act, also known as AGOA. This could drastically affect many companies like these ones in Lesotho. And workers here are so anxious, as the economic experts have predicted that if the current 90-day pause ends and a 50% tariff becomes a reality, exporting goods to the U.S. could be severely hindered. It's also uncertainty that strikes fears for many of these workers here. The once bright prospects of trade in African countries, opportunities are now diminishing, making the future future look increasingly bleak. And without AGOA, we know that for free trade with the U.S. manufacturers like this one and others also in the SADC region might close, leaving workers with no source of incomes. So the stakes are indeed very high for both workers, factories, and everyone who depend on the manufacturing industry in Lesotho. From here in Lesotho, it's back to you in the studio.
Cardinals will gather for the Papal Conclave, the centuries-old tradition through which a new head of the Catholic Church is elected, beginning on 7th of May. The announcement follows the burial of Pope Francis on Saturday, a ceremony that drew world leaders and hundreds of thousands of mourners to the Vatican to pay their respects. Francis passed away a week ago on Easter Monday at the age of 88 after a prolonged battle with ill health that saw him hospitalized for several weeks. The Vatican confirmed the conclave's start date after a fifth meeting of the cardinals on Monday morning, attended by more than 180 cardinals. Russian President Vladimir Putin has announced a surprise three-day ceasefire from 8th to 10th of May, coinciding with Moscow's World War II Victory Day commemorations. Moscow said it expects Kyiv to issue a similar directive, adding that it stands ready to respond to any violations of the proposed pause in fighting. Putin issued a similar order for a ceasefire during Easter, a truce both sides accused each other of violating hundreds of times, although it did lead to a temporary reduction in hostilities. Last month, Putin rejected a U.S. proposal for a full and unconditional 30-day ceasefire, which Ukraine had accepted. And away from Russia and Ukraine, now to Portugal, where a massive power outage swept across the state, across Spain and Portugal on Monday, disrupting mobile phone and internet networks, halting train services and trapping people in lifts. Spain's government they're urgently working to determine the cause of the widespread blackout, with Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez visiting the headquarters of the state electricity network operator for a briefing. The operator, Red Electrica, they announced that it would take between 6 to 10 hours to fully restore power across the country, and urged the public not to engage in speculation about the cause of the outage. Images shared on social media showed metro stations plunged in darkness, trains brought to a standstill, and people in offices and corridors relying on the torches on their phones to find their way. Let's go on a short break, shall we? There's more after the break. Stay with us. And welcome back. Nigeria's manufacturing sector records a 35.3% drop in investments in 2024 due to high interest rates and unstable exchange rates, highlighting the urgent need for reforms to boost growth and attract investments. Dr. Femi Egbesola, the president of the Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria, emphasized that the manufacturing sector is struggling, with many businesses shutting down. We've raised concerns that government intervention is crucial to stabilize the industry, as many manufacturers are relocating abroad due to challenges.
Quite a number of manufacturers have gone under. So many are ailing. They are not healthy at all. And it's a big cause for concern. Some of us are even thinking that it's time government begin to look at that sector and declare a state of emergency in that sector. That's the real sector. That's the sector for the growth of the economy. And all hands must be on deck to ensure that all is well with the manufacturing sector. At the moment, it's a very gory story. It's so bad, and we need government intervention so that more manufacturing companies will not go down. Even those who are from other countries are leaving Nigeria to other shores. It is an indication that all is not well with the manufacturing sector.
Remo Stars secured their first ever Nigeria Premier Football League title with a 1-0 victory over Niger Tornadoes on Sunday in Ikenne. Olamilekan Adedayo scored the winning goal 6 minutes from time to seal the historic triumph. led by coach Daniel Ogunmodede. Remo Stars, I beg your pardon, became the first privately owned club to win the NPFL since Udoji United in 1996. It also marks the first title for a Southwest club since Julius Berger's success 20 years ago. They achieved the feat on the 59th birthday of their owner, Kunle Soname, a businessman with interests ranging from aviation to the gaming industry. They have now amassed an unassailable 68 points from 35 matches, 10 points clear of their closest rival, Rivers United, with 3 rounds of matches remaining this season. The club will now represent Nigeria in next year's CAF Champions League, along with this season's eventual runner-ups, while the third-placed team will feature in the CAF Confederation Cup. Liverpool will celebrate their 20th top-flight title with a victory parade on May 26th. The club announced on Monday fans who missed out on a parade in 2020 due to COVID-19 will finally get the chance to mark the achievement. Arne Slot's side sealed the Premier League crown with a dominant 5-1 win over Tottenham Hotspur, opening an uncatchable 15-point lead over Arsenal. The 15-kilometer parade is set to begin at 2:30 p.m. local time and last up to 5 hours, highlighting the city's passion and pride. Liverpool City Council has been preparing for months to ensure a smooth event following the success of hosting Eurovision in 2023. The parade promises a massive celebration across Merseyside. That's all we can take at this hour, but before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. Abia Governor Alex Oti has dismissed reports suggesting movement to the APC. The Kano Emirates crisis has deepened as Emir Bayero appoints his brother as rival Galadima. We also told you that cardinals are to begin the process of electing a new pope from May 7th. Now do remember that you can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422. But first, if you see anything on the road, make sure to send us your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number now showing on the screen. And while you're at it, make sure to follow us on social media. We're at News Central TV on all social media platforms. You can always watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422. We're now on GoTV channel 23. Find us on Star Times channel 274. We're also on Avo TV, and you can stream us live on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Judah, the TV. First of all, congratulations to Liverpool fans, and bye for now.